Can't complain about 3 points.
Okay, very expressive as usual. Love that. So tell us, how do you think the performance went? What do you think you can improve on? Like, did anyone shine? Did anyone like perform badly?
To be fair, there were some spells of good football. Um, at the moment, I'm not the biggest Rashford fan. I need to see a lot more work from him. Um, Bruno, I don't know what it was on that day, but he just couldn't score. Leno had
It's the
a
new deal. It's the new deal.
Yeah.
New
I
deal
just
stays whack.
the chances that I saw him missing was, but let's see how the season pans out, and he does put in a lot of work. So
But I mean,
hopefully,
in all fairness, he's false nine. Like, are you going to judge him based on that?
no. I'm just saying the chances that were missed. Rashford had one that he played to Garnacho. The pass was a bit under for me, but we got 3 points. Then we move in it.
Sorry, Tony. Can we talk about Garnacho's miss?
Oh,
Yeah, that's the one
If
that
we got, if
Rashford
we got,
played for.
what?
you're putting
That's miss
you're
of the
putting on
season.
Rashford. He's putting on
That has got to
Rashford.
be miss of the season already.
I think it's a bit of because it was a bit of a soft ball, man. He needed a bit more
Don't make it
on it,
excuses,
but
man.
still should have finished. Yeah, definitely. But so far, probably yeah, miss of the season so far.
That's not going to be beaten.
Definitely
Well,
not.
Well, with
you would
Nico
hope not.
Jackson playing for your team, I'm sure there's a possibility.
You've got a striker that finds it a way to miss chances
Hey,
that I
we're
can't
not
even
there
miss.
yet. We're not there yet.
So
Everyone just calm down. Yeah, we're at the end of the thing for a reason. All right, just
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. All right,
yeah.
cool.
But on the whole, I'll take the 3 points. And our new signing got a goal on his debut.
Yeah,
oh yeah, good
That's a
finish.
definite
Good
finish.
finish.
yeah.
A
Good finish.
decent goal as
Poke,
well.
poke, yeah.
Instinctive. It was an instinctive goal.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's another positive to take from the game. And I can kind of see a way of play that we want to do now in terms of passing the ball out from the back, little triangles, and if they need to do the long ball, we already know Anana's passing is ridiculous.
Should
And
Maguire be worried with?
saves. Say that again, sorry, Cal.
Should Maguire be worried with the lit and that Mazarat, that new geezer? Because he kind of
Yeah,
played alright the other night, I thought.
yeah,
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
But to be fair to Maguire, I think last season he done very well, and he just got to keep trying to put in them performances when he gets the opportunity. We
I'm,
Wait,
haven't.
Trim, is this all being recorded? Because Tiny chatting nonsense. Because last season he didn't say that. Hold on.
No. The
It
season before, I
is
said
recorded. He's he
Okay,
he
so
Last
is
season,
there's
fully
gonna be
accountable
receipt.
right now.
the
There's gonna
season
be
before
receipt.
last, Maguire was terrible. But last season,
Fully accountable right now.
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I'm glad you got that. Yeah.
the season before last, Maguire was terrible. But last season, he redeemed himself for me.
Yeah.
I think personally, I think Maguire was good the other day. Every time they clipped the ball, he just won his duel, and it just meant that you guys had possession every single time.
Yeah, and
He didn't lose
he's
any
good
of
at.
his battles.
That's
Mm.
what he's good at, winning them aerial duels and stuff like that. So if he sticks to what he's good at, I think he can be a big part of the season.
I think he's a good player. Just I don't even I don't think it could be that hard. He sometimes he just makes things look so difficult. When he was at Leicester, that wasn't happening to him. I don't know what the difference is. To be fair,
There was no pressure. You're at Old Trafford in front of 80,000 people. Leicester, you're in front of 15. It's a big difference.
I
But
think
Terry,
also,
the mad thing for me is when he first um got to United, he was all right.
yeah,
I think the
Yeah, but
difference is, right, when you're looking at a pure defensive player, like Maguire's a decent pure defensive player. He's decent at that aspect. If you ask him to do anything else, then you're asking him to do something that's out of his comfort zone. In Leicester, they were a defensive unit. Like everything was about defensive transitions into attack. So all he needed to do was clear the ball. All he needed to do was win it and then pass it. But now he's been asked to contribute to the build-up play. Now he's been asked to, take more risks, receive the ball in different positions. So you're getting a different kind of player. Like,
do you know, with Maguire, he epitomizes an old school centre back. He gets the ball, clears it. Like now, football's changed to the point where they want centre backs to be able to run out like John Stones and play ball. Maguire cannot do that. He has to get the ball, either clear it or pass first time. All that dilly-dallying is not for him. Old school centre back. Get rid of it and adjust.
Maguire can pass the ball. Like, it's the dribbling and carrying the ball that he's not amazing with, right? But if you ask him to do certain things like attack the box late, he's going to do that amazingly. If you're going to win the ball in the air, he's going to do that in ways that he make the last 6 tackles, he's going to do that. But if you're going to ask him to mark a tricky winger, if you're going to ask him to someone with a lot of movement, it's going to be different because he's not that mobile. That's why I think De Ligt offers that mobility that Maguire doesn't. And the only thing that Maguire really has above him is experience and probably just an understanding of the team and the way that English football is.
Does he learn off De Ligt, do you think? So De Ligt's a lot younger.
I think both people can learn off each other.
100%.
Yeah. De Ligt is sounds mad, but he's almost like a veteran player. He's been playing first team football since about 17, 18, and he was captain at like 18 years old. So it's not, he's played a lot of games in his career already at a young age. And I feel like that's kind of where football's going anyway. Yeah. But for him, he's had a few
he's been around forever,
he's been around for a long time. So they're thinking they've signed an experienced centre-back. They don't want him to be having to learn and stuff. They've more signed him so that Lenny Euro is learning of him now, or is learning off Maguire. They're looking at him as another piece of the puzzle, as in you're an established player. People know you. No one has to worry about you. Come in and do your job.
But what's interesting about De Ligt, right? If you look at his career, he's never really managed to nail a position. Why is that? Like Maguire has nailed a position more than De Ligt, right? De Ligt.
All right, put your hands down.
The Maguire's nailed a position more than De Ligt. Like Maguire has been that guy for Man United, even though he might not have meant to have been, but he's been that guy up until last season. De Ligt has gone from Ajax to Juve, didn't hold it down. Went from Bayern, didn't hold it down. Why is that? Like, why is it that now, like, he's meant to be that guy? Why? Like, what is missing about De Ligt, do you think? And then we'll kind of move on, just because I know we're dilly-dallying on this.
Yeah, I was thinking this is around the roundup.
I think De Ligt's problem is his mobility. I think he's very similar to Maguire. I don't think he's not the most agile of defenders. He might be slightly better on the ball because of like the Dutch upbringing and how they play. But in terms of moving, and he's a very, very big unit. So I think it's a very similar profile of player, in my opinion.
So then segueing into the next team, Liverpool, you've got Van Dijk, right?
Me?
So Van Dijk is a big lad, right? But maybe it's because he doesn't have the same trim as Van Dijk that he can't apply himself.
Van Dijk.
Like obviously Van Dijk, we're gonna go to Mr. Trimmer, the Liverpool supporter in the room. All right.
Yeah. Bless. Yeah. So it was we played against Ipswich. The game was 2-0. It was definitely it was what's his name? It was Arne Slot's first game, and I didn't know what to expect. Well, I kind of did, because obviously I've seen the pre-season, but yeah, it's like now you're in the office, innit? So just really got to see how the team actually gelled and stuff like that. The first half was very techie. I felt it kind of reminded me more like a FA Cup tie. It was more like that because obviously Ipswich were trying really hard to stick it on us. We almost made a couple of mistakes as well. But then in the second half, I felt like we started to show more quality. We got the first goal, which I was very happy about. It's after we got the first goal as well, the all the air was sucked out of pause. All the air was, Ipswich had kind of like thought, oh no, the floodgates are about to open now. And then obviously with Salah getting the second, it was pretty much a done deal. So yeah, Jota's goal was crazy, but he just doesn't disappoint. So yeah, a very good result. I don't know what anybody else thought, but I was pleased with it overall. And I think it was just a matter of us just being patient and waiting for the quality to shine through.
Trim, as Gakpo had such a good Euros, why do you think he didn't start?
I think that I think it would be the same thing I think the Dutch manager would have done the same thing if he had the same personnel. I think the players that we had on the pitch, regardless of how well he was doing, remember he's still got to come back and perform with the rest of the team. We've got a very good front line, to be fair. So he has his moments in that, but he's maybe not as effective as if he's playing on the left. Is he going to be as effective as Lucho? He might go up front, but never in front of Jota. So I'm not going to speak about the right hand side. So yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty straightforward.
What do you think, Jota? His performance and his pre-season. What do you think that means for Núñez? Because I'm kind of a fan of Núñez. Like, I feel he's got all the attributes of a top striker, other than consistency. Like, there's some moments he looks like a player. He looks like Hernan Crespo reborn. And then some players, sometimes he just looks like any other striker you get from the Championship. Like, what
he is rubbish.
You know what?
It doesn't look like a good striker.
I can't believe that you're even saying that. He is frightening.
Rubbish.
No one wants to play against him.
No,
even if he doesn't miss, we'll get a tap in or something like that. He does miss a lot of chances. I think he hit the crossbar more than double figures. So he's getting in the right places. It's just, I don't even know.
He's playing at Liverpool like he's got the Chelsea curse.
Something. It's upsetting because you can see how it affects his confidence as well. Because you don't get into the Uruguay squad for nothing. When he played against Liverpool, he scored against us. He gave us hell. So the fact it's not happened, I just don't know what that is. I just don't know why it's not clicking for him.
Look, the thing is Darwin Núñez, even though he's wasteful, is still scoring a lot of goals. I think the problem
What's a lot of goals, Vapor?
What's that?
What's a lot of goals?
I think he scored about 11 goals.
Yeah. So he's still getting goals, right? He's still getting double figures while missing double figures, like obvious chances. So you got to say the first step is, can you be in the right position? And he's in the right position. He's doing the right things. It's just that final moment, which is it's not happening all the time, right? And you've seen that some of the goals he's actually scored, you've been like, nah, this guy's a player, right? There's no
something there.
There's no fluke in what he's doing, but it's just the lack of that composure consistently. And I think that there needs to be real focus on getting the best out of him, because he's tall, he's quick, he can head the ball, he can hold up the ball, he can run in behind, he can run the channels. He's
everything else. He can do absolutely everything else.
He's got power in his shot.
I think he's just very unlucky. I think in training, Liverpool just need to put this guy in front of the goal and just make him shoot. Because
I bet they already do, though. I bet that's already happening.
That better be. But he just needs to keep at it, because
he does.
Yeah.
In terms of what he does, he always gets chances and chances and chances. And you can't have so many chances over this short period and not somehow start getting goals.
I've never seen. I don't know if you guys have, but I've never seen a player that can do absolutely everything but score.
Forlan from Man United back in the day.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Timo Werner at
So ain't they
Chelsea.
from the same spot?
Tino Werner.
Yeah.
Aren't they? They're from
Yeah, they're
Uruguay.
brethren.
Yeah.
Mad.
Must be a
Yeah.
Uruguay.
He scored
team.
against Liverpool. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
No, but Forlan was to the point where the Man United players were like, let's just get the ball to him so he can put it in the net.
No, that's crazy.
All right.
So
What's next?
with Liverpool in mind, the final thing is we've spent a lot of time. You've had a good result. You're looking okay. Do you need anything else? Because
I still feel we need a replacement for Salah. And when I say that, not if he goes, because he made it quite well. I believe that Salah doesn't go anywhere this season. I'm pretty sure of that. Whether he signs an extension, I don't know. But we definitely need someone on the right hand side because we've got more than enough personnel on the left. So we definitely need to have someone, if not as good, which is hard, but something close, or someone that can learn from him and be able to then, when he does decide to depart, be able to take over the mantle. So yeah,
okay.
I think that's. But I'd like another striker as well. And obviously, the most important one is the six. We're struggling with the six. Gravenberch had a good game.
He did have.
He played well, but I don't know whether that's gonna be proper midfielders might be able to unlock that.
Cool. Well, I'm going to come back to that when we talk about transfers in a bit. But we're going to move on to the next game of importance, which was the mighty, gracious, amazing Arsenal. Arsenal.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not.
Did you say important?
No favoritism at all.
You said all types of stuff.
No favoritism. So Arsenal won 2-0. I'm going to wrap it up quickly. For me, it was a relatively enjoyable game. I think what I would say, in all fairness to Wolves, you can kind of see that Wolves are a decent squad, decent team. Yeah. They're lacking a bit of quality in certain areas, but they're a decent team. They're not easy to beat, but you can find a way. And I feel kind of sorry for them because I don't think they've signed a replacement for a direct replacement for a key player that they sold was Pedro Neto. Which we'll onto. They did Max Kilman, who was arguably their best defender, but their replacement was actually quite good, even though he tried to choke one of my players, which I'm a fan of. I didn't understand what was going there. But other than that, I thought like he's a decent replacement. I think Arsenal showed signs of their continuing from where they left off. We gave him a couple of chances, but obviously it's the start of the new season. But I was happy with it. You know, Saka scored, my boy, and Havertz scored, which is good. Probably trying to tell Edu not to buy another striker. I still believe we should. But overall, happy. Overall happy. Like ideally you want to score some more, but overall happy. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I really have to say. About that.
Do you feel that Arsenal had the game in their grasps? Because there was a part of the game where it kind of went. I was like, if Wolves scored, this whole game could change, and it looked like it didn't look like the control was there. I didn't think it was as comfortable as it should have been. I genuinely thought when I looked at that you guys were playing Wolves, even though they are a good side. I did feel like Arsenal should have had a more comfortable ride. I didn't think that they were going to cause you any grief or anything.
Yeah, I think that partly is because the last game we slapped them before, and I think as well, like the difference as well is that Wolves, and I was listening to the commentary, like Gary Neal was going to make a point that they're going to be difficult to beat, which they were. I think there was parts of the game when they started to get a bit control, move the ball around, but they didn't really give us too much to worry about. Like they had a couple chances, and the most worrying chance was the chance they had in the first half, which was a great save from Raya. But other than that, I didn't really feel like I thought they were growing into the game, but I didn't feel like, oh my days, that chance should have gone in or could have gone in. But it just felt like they were growing into the game. They were moving the ball around. We didn't have possession. But now with Arsenal, personally, I'm comfortable with my team not being in possession. I feel like we're very difficult to break down. And I feel like we've got defenders that can do a job and cover each other. In saying that, I feel like we were a different team when Timber came on, which is nice to see him come back.
That's when it changed.
You could see he offers something different. Zinchenko is a good overall player, but defensively, sometimes I'm a bit worried. I
think he's another one that's nicked a living. Just like Nunes, he nicked a living. He can't play football to save his life.
Who's Zinchenko?
How is he paid for Man City and Arsenal? He is rubbish, man.
Wow.
He is so dead.
The passion and the venom.
The aggression. Well, what
he's good on the ball.
Defensively, ouch. But football going forward, when he's inverted, he's dangerous, man.
You know, he's a midfielder. He's not a fullback.
Yeah, but
he's
the thing is,
centre midfielder.
I think.
They just know he is. They done this. The classic Pep thing is to put your midfielder at left back, and that's what he did to Zinchenko. He's always been a midfielder.
He only plays midfield for Ukraine. He's always played left back for Pep and for Arsenal. He never plays midfield. And when he plays at left back, he can. He's a player that likes the ball. And typically, you don't have a left back that just likes the ball. You want a left back that is creating chances going forward and trying to do overlaps, etc., etc. But he likes the ball at his feet. But it just means that we can build up on both sides. We build up from our left back if we're on the left side, and we build up through Odegaard if we're on the right side. And that's what we try to do. And his passing is excellent. It's just when you have a tricky winger against him, they can outmuscle him. They can be direct.
Definitely weak link.
That's a problem. And the only thing is you'd say there's probably about 3 times a season he gets found out. But generally, he handles himself. Like he does all right. Do you know what I mean?
So at the start of the game, did you not think, oh fuck, well, Zinchenko is playing? Because Timber was available.
He had a good preseason, and Timber is obviously coming back from a long-term injury.
Can't risk it.
They said that he even missed training because they said they didn't want to overload. It was just a bit of pressure on his thing. So cool. I don't see that. Calafiori's there and he can play that position, but he's new, and he's only been training with the team properly. He played in the Emirates Cup and came on for about 15 minutes. So you just ease him into the game, really. But Zinni, I think he's a baller. I think he's a baller, but defensively, he definitely is someone you might target.
Cool. All right.
Okay. So
let's quickly run through the others, and then talk about the other big one.
Cool. So we'll fly through some of the other games, but what's a really important game is Everton versus Brighton. All right. And the reason why that's important is 1, they are currently top of the league. All right. And 2, it was a landmark to have such a young manager manage a team, the youngest ever Premier League manager. And he got a 3-0. Now, I'm quite happy with the 3-0. I'm sure you're happy with the 3-0 Trimmer against. Yeah. Because personally, I feel like Everton have been nicking a living in the Premier League for a while.
I think they go this year.
I think they're
going to get relegated. I think they get relegated.
We can talk about that.
They have
at the end,
on that borderline for 2 seasons too long. They're going this season.
Yeah,
they've not got better.
Lucky boy.
They have not got better at all. They are going. Vardy scored again. Stop it. Sorry.
Flash. I just saw the flash.
1-0.
Okay, Leicester.
Oh my days. He's a baller. I don't care what no one says. You have to give him respect. What is he?
Hey, sorry, lads. Going back to Brighton, yeah?
Yeah.
Their manager was 9 years of age when James Milner made his Premier League debut. Imagine that.
Wow.
Hey, Millie.
What that for a stat?
That's a while
He's done
ago.
Milner's done them. What's he? 23 seasons now. That's the record, isn't it?
Yeah.
23 seasons is a record. Yeah.
Consecutive.
But you know what? If I'm gonna be honest, it makes him sound old, but James Milner is younger than me. Okay, so
so you're old then.
So, but I'm not old. Okay, like let's just stop it right there. I'm not old. Okay, all right. So no bullying. So, but Brighton put themselves in the helm for being top of the league, which is brilliant. Everton kind of put themselves in a bad position. And then the next result is Newcastle 1-0 against Southampton, who will go into the relegation and the predictions at the end. I'm personally thinking they might not make it. I hope they don't either. Forest 1-1, which we saw a leg break, which is really unfortunate. It was mad leg break. And then Brentford versus Crystal Palace, very controversial because Eze had scored a goal and they blew up a bit too early, which is unfortunate, and that really would have set the tone. And then Brentford went on to score the next goal. So,
but the referee apologized to Eze and said it should have stood. And then nice. do you know that old referee? Is it Dermot Gallagher?
Yeah.
He come out today and said the goal should have stood as well because there was no foul. The ref was just too eager.
That's nice of them. Like I think
you've lost 3 points. What's so sorry when you've lost 3 points?
Do you know what I mean? They went on to lose the
means
game.
Nothing.
Like, what are you telling me sorry for? Are you giving me a draw?
Exactly.
To be fair to them, a lot of these refs just lie, bruv, and say at least he was honest.
Fair enough.
Kept it 100. Thanks.
Fair enough. And then another slightly controversial game: West Ham versus Aston Villa. They put in their charge to kind of pick up where they left off. Where Aston Villa's scorer didn't really want to celebrate. All right, didn't really want to celebrate because he's been linked with a transfer to West Ham, which will kind of
West Ham.
Yeah, we'll kind of go on a bit later, and then we go into the next game, which is
let's pass. Should we just carry on? Should we go to the next
Chelsea Youth Club?
Nah, there's only one thing to talk about.
Man City, Manchester Blue. Okay, cool. So, Kerry, the in-house Chelsea fan.
Sorry, I'm not here. Sorry.
All right, go to Cairo.
I'm joking.
It's up to you.
We can see you.
Someone's got there.
Do you know what? Yeah, it had to be Cucurella that messed up after all that chanting that he done about Cucurella, Haaland, them coming for you, and he does that stupidness. Just put your foot through it. What are you doing? Like you goaded the man on national TV, and then you just let him embarrass you. Why don't you just keep your mouth shut?
The funniest bit about that is when he got cramp and he asked Haaland for help. And Haaland just looked at him, what's up?
After all of that, man, to help you.
Yeah, well, he didn't. Haaland just said, "Yeah, forget you, mate." What's up?
And then, like the Kovacic goal, we let this quick geezer go for £30 million to City, which is ludicrous.
30.
And then he just walks past your £200 million players, like they're not even on the pitch, and then just puts it at Sanchez's height where he should have saved it. I'm like, how is he even in goal?
That shot, he disguised that shot.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to go the other side, but he's wrapped his foot right round that. That was a pretty good shot. I rated it. Keeper had no chance.
I'm sorry. Keeper, you have to say that. Kepa says that, and he's dead. Kepa says that.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I don't like Sanchez at all, man.
So it's because you don't like him, as opposed to it was a good shot. And when you look at the execution of the shot, I thought it was great because it looks like he's going the other side, and then he just wraps his foot round it, and it's like too late. You got to watch it. You got to look at it again, I think. Obviously you're going to feel hard done by because it's Chelsea.
Jackson goal was onside as well.
No way. Oh, what?
He was.
Okay, we'll just say it was.
And 2 penalties that weren't given. What about
Kai, was Jackson offside?
I don't care about Jackson.
It's getting spicy, baby. This might be the second time because they should not be playing in the Premier League.
Wait.
He should not be playing in the Premier League. Period.
Jackson or Nunes then?
Yeah,
Nunes all day long.
About Jackson. Jackson what?
Yeah.
Can't believe it. He should. I don't know why he didn't. How he wasn't under no pressure. It wasn't nothing. What was he thinking? I don't know what he was thinking about when he was.
Yeah. No, Chelsea. Chelsea have their own stuff going on.
Tiny would score them goals, and he's got 2 left feet.
Okay, cool. Do you know what? All right. So enough of the digs. Leave Tiny alone. Okay, he's got a condition. All right, leave him alone. All right.
What conditions that, mate, bro?
No fitness.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that segues into the next topic, Chelsea. Right. So now, Chelsea.
Big Blues.
Chelsea. Now, for me, right, Chelsea is a very interesting team, right? Because on one way, they're very successful, right? They've done a lot to get to where they are now, but now it feels like they're unraveling, and it doesn't feel like there's a clear direction. Now, at the moment, Chelsea, from what we understand, have a squad. What is it? Is it 43 players?
53.
43.
That is bogus. That is bogus.
Right? So
bogus. Don't let the media fool you into thinking that these players are first team players. Half of those players are 18 years old.
Maresca has also come out and said that he will train a 26-man squad, and the rest that are not in the squad is not his problem. That's the board problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's the media. It's a media thing. 45 players, yes, but some of them are under 18 players that have made it to the first team that are not going to play. They're going to be loaned.
Okay.
So cool. I'm not having, and then the signings that we bought that are 17 years old that have never played a game, that are clearly not going to play this season. They are not first team players. They're getting loaned out anyway, so they're not going to play for Chelsea. They're probably not ever going to see a match day squad.
Let's go through the list of 23 people that weren't in the match day squad. 23. Yeah. Okay, and tell me how many of them are 18-year-old, okay?
Yeah.
Axel Disasi.
Yeah, he's a first team player. He's a first team player.
Tosin Adebayo, sorry.
Adebayo, yeah, new signing.
Raheem Sterling.
Raheem Sterling. They want him out.
31.
Trevor
Chalobah. They want him out of the team.
Trevor Chalobah.
They want him out of the team.
They want him out.
You can't. Chukwuemeka is the only. Chukwuemeka is an interesting one, right? Because I really like him. Okay, yeah,
I'm unsure of him.
Conor Gallagher's gone now, so you've got a replacement.
Nah, he ain't. Has he gone?
He has gone.
He's done it. Yeah, so
done it today.
Got now Felix as a replacement. Reece
Big
James,
signing.
all right, aka
Sell him.
All right,
Sell him.
Who was decent for you. All right, Cesar Casade, the Italian youth.
He'll go on loan.
Okay, all right. Tyreek George, he's young. Josh,
he'll go on loan.
He's young. David
on
Washington,
loan.
Who you signed, right? Signed big money.
He was 18 years old and has never played a Premier League game.
I think he plays for the under-21s. I think he might be older. But anyway,
and I've seen him play for the under-21s, and he's not that good. So
I went in the game to watch him, and I thought, this is the guy you lot paid money for. Anyway,
I think they just bought him so that someone else would buy him, so they could sell him.
Like 11-year contract.
We'll have him. That's what they said. If we're Brazilian, we'll have him. All right. David, Amari Kellerman, young. Angelo Gabriel, young. Marcus Bettinelli, right?
Keeper. We don't need 7 keepers.
Yeah. Lucas Bergstrom. I saw you bought him recently.
Another goalie. No, he's a goalie. He's an academy goalkeeper.
Yeah, but all right, cool. Kepa.
He's out. They want him out.
Yeah, it's all good wanting him out, but he's still there. Bashir, Humphreys, young. Tino.
He's going to Burnley.
Young. Bro Young.
Want him out. So then let's I don't know, like how do we gauge
Romelu Lukaku? So the problem is, right, and the thing that where I personally disagree is you've got all these players that you haven't dealt with, but you're looking at bringing more in. You're always linked with more players. You really
out of the 23 you said there, Vapor, there's only 3 that would go into that Chelsea team, and that is Axel Darcy, Ben Chilwell, and Reece James.
So
and 2 goalkeepers, and 2.
Not the new centre back. Not the new goalkeeper. Not
obviously we need one of the goalkeepers, and Tosin, maybe, but I don't think he plays over.
Okay, cool. So
I don't think he plays over Fofana and Colwill.
Cool. So you've got about, just say 18.
Wait, Tosin Adrabayo was on the bench, by the way.
Yeah, he was.
Cool.
So he wasn't left out of the squad. So I don't know where that's going. But what I will say about our transfer,
players that weren't in the squad.
And 7 of them are not meant to be in the squad because they are trying to make them leave the club. So it's just like so there's no difference because so how I see it is we can see that there's a Ivan Toney saga, right? And at the moment Brentford are trying to get him out of the club. He wasn't involved in the matchday squad. That's the exact same thing that we're doing. We're doing it on a bigger scale,
Ivan Toney is one person, not 23. But continue.
Exactly, and we're doing it on a very bigger scale. I understand that. The only difference is Chelsea is in a situation where they are trying to do stuff for business. So, for example, you speak about a player like David Washington. He's not that good. I've seen him play a couple of times, under 21 games, and I think there's other under 21 players that are strikers that play and are better. The only difference is I don't believe personally that my club is looking at these players and going, they are going to play for Chelsea. What I think they're doing is buying young talent at 18 years old and having the hope that they can loan them out and then just sell them on for more money that they bought them for. And it's that simple. It's just a business thing. So we speak about, for example, Jordi Petrovic, right? Jordi Petrovic had a very good season for us in goal. He may not play another game for Chelsea. Reason why? We bought him for cheap, unknown player from MLS. He had a season in goal. We didn't think he was going to be for Chelsea, but he had a season in goal, done decent. His valuation has gone up. Okay, can we get rid of him? Yeah. Could we see him as the future Chelsea goalkeeper? No, because we probably want someone more high profile. But we're going to get more than what we paid for. Goodbye. You've done your service. See you later. That's our policy.
I agree, but the problem with that policy is you've got how long? We got what, 12 days until the end of the transfer, and you've got 20 odd players that you're still trying to get rid of, and there's players you want to bring on, and you can't literally have your salary swelling like that. There's some that can go down, like about 7 or 8 of those players can just go to the under 21s.
But 4 of them have gone on to transfer to pretty much today. Lukaku to Napoli, Humphreys to Burnley, Gallagher's gone to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
So it's all in the process.
So that's another
the salary. The salary thing is very interesting as well, right? Because we speak about these players as if they're on big money, but the whole salary structure at Chelsea is very incentive based, and it's very based on how much they play and how much they actually score, or they get bonuses. So, for example, the only big players that are big problem to the salary is Lukaku, because he's on about 300,000. Sterling's on about 300,000, and I think Chilwell's on about. Chilwell's, I think he's maybe about 200,000. other than that, the players are on very, very minimal money, and they're probably going to go on loan. So we're not actually paying the full amount. If depending on the wages agreement, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know. The only things I know is from FIFA. So I don't know how the wage agreement goes when players go on loan.
But Chilwell is the only one actual out of them 3 names that you named that are actually valuable for what he's a Champions League winner with us. He's done everything with us. So Chilwell is the only one that justifies the 200 bags that he's on.
Okay.
Lukaku doesn't.
It's neither here nor there about, whether the players are staying or they're going or whatever they're worth. But how do you think that they're handling this scenario? Because it just feels a bit like a mess. It feels like no other club is going through a scenario where they have a swelling squad that they have just a load of people in it. Everyone has people they want to get rid of. Like that's a fact in every squad. But it just feels like Chelsea just are swelling and they're also still looking. Like, how do you think they handle it?
I think Enzo Maresca's come out and done really, really well. Considering he's a young new manager, I think he's come out and he said, you know what? I've got a squad of 26 who I know I want to play with.
Yeah.
Everyone else is to deal with the board. I have nothing to do with that. I will train 26 people.
Yeah.
The other 14 can go and play wherever they want in Cobham. They are not part of my plan. Bye.
That's mad, bro. That's
bro, and then what it does, it then opens up
by the train tracks.
That's mad.
It now opens up nonsense like Sterling representatives coming out saying,
"Oh, that was mad."
Blah, blah, blah. Go. See you later. Now you just opened your door up. Someone will buy you. See you later. Get your 330k off our books.
Yeah, he was linked to Juve, wasn't he? I don't know how far that went, but he was linked. So, but the only problem with that
was
is
a bad move.
There's difficult things, right? There's things in football that are difficult, and if you're on 325 grand a week and you hardly play any games, and there's no money in Europe anymore as there was before because the money's all here. So who in the right mind is going to pay £325 or euros a week to Sterling, and he hasn't played football? And then even if he takes a wage cut, there
Saudi
you go.
Could, maybe.
that's
is that going to happen now? How realistic is that now?
How realistic is Sterling wanting to the whole point of the Chelsea thing was the convenience. He's a London boy. He wanted to come back to London. He's lived in Liverpool. He's lived in Manchester for ages. He wanted to come back to London. Now he's back in London. He's on massive wages. I think he's got another 3 years of his deal. You might just sit down and go, I'm old. I've done all I need to do in football. I can just sit here now. And that's why they want to get
Chelsea
him out.
I think Chelsea would allow that. Well, they don't have
a choice. They've Lukaku for 10 years.
I don't know, but
Chelsea have given out these death row contracts. That's why the death row contracts are going to fuck you up in the end. Sorry, my language, right? But the point is you have these long contracts with players that you're trying to spread out the cost, right? But when you have a problem, it becomes difficult to get rid, and that's the challenge. And that's the
only thing I like about Bowley is the fact that he's done these long year contracts because he's now got us in such a good place with financial fair play. No one can touch us because what he's doing, he's spreading the cost along 7 years. So instead of paying like Sterling 320k a year, you're paying people like 70k a week, which then puts down the price of everything. Yeah. And then he's selling like clubs to his sister club. So he's smart in that way. Don't get me wrong. He's come in and he's done what he said he's going to do, which is smart. But I just don't think he knows how to run a football club.
Do you know what? Financially,
what's that? Play's been stopped to serious injury. Who's
it's Bentancur.
Sorry to cut us, but
Bentancur.
What did he do?
I have no idea, but he's on a stretcher right now, and he's got gas.
Stretcher. Okay, how many? What's the game on? What minutes is the game on right now?
About 76-ish.
Okay.
I reckon I'm a bit behind, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
But then also what Cairo said as well, like they bring players in, like Madueke, yeah. Last season, I feel other than Palmer, he was one of our better players, yeah. He ain't playing this season because obviously we bought Pedro Neto and now João Felix. You will get £16 million for Madueke easily.
One season of good play,
Easily.
and we bought him for 30.
Smart.
He's got that English
Double
tax.
bubble.
He can.
Double.
If we get 60 mil for him, they don't care. They're like he doesn't mean anything to us.
That's an if. That's the problem. That is an if, because you know the thing is players like clubs are looking at marquee signings, right? And 60 million for most clubs is like a marquee signing. Now, you have to find a club for him that can afford him and that need a Madueke. For me,
Newcastle.
I think you need to use Madueke because he was performing for at least another season, and he needs to look like he's trying to eclipse some of your already existing players to justify that figure. Because if you look at,
does he get in front of,
right? I'll give you an example of who is a 60 million pound player at the moment, right? Or 60 or 70 million pound player, and that's Anthony Gordon, right? And he starts all the time. All the time. He's got his call up, he's scoring goals, he's doing that, but he's 60, 70 million. Do you play 60, 70 million for Madueke? I don't know.
So wait, so if a player, if a club came in for Anthony Gordon today, for example, Chelsea, because we'll spend, all right?
Yeah.
Chelsea going for Anthony Gordon for 60 mil. You think Newcastle are letting him go? Absolutely not. His valuation is way higher. And that's just football, because the business is getting everything. So a player like Noni Madueke could be 60 mil, because a player like Anthony Gordon is probably going to be about 90. Let's be realistic, because if Chelsea put in a bid today for 60 million, Anthony Gordon, Newcastle are rejecting it.
So they'll reject it. Yeah.
They would laugh at it. They will laugh at it.
So let's go into the transfers, and we'll move off of Chelsea, but we can look at the transfers as well. All right. So, funny enough, Liverpool, you've been linked with Anthony Gordon. How much was it worth?
I think that you were mentioning the number. The number was, I think it was 60 to 7, but I think it was 65, 70 mil. Was the number that was being thrown about. So
for me, 65, 70 million, it makes sense for a starter, for the main guy.
Yeah, to open negotiations, to even realize that Liverpool was serious about him. But I think as well that was the reasoning behind that as well, is that we didn't know what was going on with Barcelona and Lucho.
Yeah,
ain't Gordon Everton through and through though? Ain't he born and bred in Everton?
Yeah, I don't know about that. He left Everton. He left them at the first available opportunity.
but you got to think to yourself as well about how many Everton players did Liverpool sign. We've had players that supported Liverpool before. Like what's his name? Matt Manham, wasn't it?
You've got one now.
But even though he was there as a kid and that,
was not Jamie Carragher? Was he Liverpool supporter?
Yeah, Jamie Carragher's Everton fan.
Yeah, and you got Nick one Barnby right now. Played for Everton.
Number 66 is a boyhood Everton fan, isn't he? So yeah, Trent's a boyhood Everton fan.
So I
sneaky.
I think
go sing happy birthday to you, boy.
Yeah,
I don't want to hurt no one's feelings.
Is about 45 million pound at the moment. Like, I think that's there and thereabouts is where you get for him, which is still a profit, and it makes sense. But I think, like, as an example, the problem that you have is when you buy so much, you're not going to get it right all the time. And the losses you make from one, right, might compensate for the gain you make on another, and vice versa. But the aim is to make as much profit on each player as possible. So, like, as an example, Mudryk, like, you're probably not going to get the 90 million you paid for him, right? So
wait, you want him on loan?
But then you got Madueke, and you get a 20 million pound profit on him, as an example. But that's why I'm saying I'm questioning that transfer policy personally. But again, like, as an example, what Man United, they sold Wan-Bissaka recently. They paid 50 million for him, and they sold him for like 15 mil, or how much was it, Tiny?
I can't remember.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Yes.
Sorry. Go on. How much was it for?
I think it was 15 million. How much was it? 15 million?
It was low.
Wan-Bissaka.
15, yeah, 15.
Are you not listening to this whole podcast? What are you doing, bro? Wake up.
He's like, I'm on a podcast.
But we just wanted to get him off the book so we could get in the next right back. We didn't. We defensively he was amazing, but going forward, personally, I
not
thought
what
he
you
improved
wanted.
last season. Yeah, personally, I thought he improved last season.
Yeah,
it must not be what the manager.
He didn't play the whole season though, did he?
Nah, he had an injury spell.
But when he came back,
when he got back from injury, personally, I thought he was doing very well going forward. And
I think he's unlucky, man.
Defensively, we all know he was always
reliable. Like if you need, he'll do what you need.
He'll do well, West Ham. He will do well.
Big
I would have kept him personally.
Lopetegui is going to do well, West Ham.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Wan-Bissaka. I don't think that in the modern game you can just do one thing. And I think Harry Maguire is an example of that. I feel like there's other players that you can be good at defense, but you need to be good at attacking. You need to those transitions and turnovers are so important in football now that you have to be able to turn defense into attack straight away. You can't just defend.
Yeah, definitely.
And play tiki.
I mean,
I lived my whole life off that defense. Like straight, get rid of it. It works. Don't worry.
Yeah, at the level you
know
play,
what? It has to, for me, you need a mix.
I'll take that.
That's fine.
For me, you need a mix. You can have one defender that's no nonsense, and the other one that's a baller.
Yeah, but
you had two of them.
You see definitely, right, why players are being sold and why players are being kept because of just the style of play. Like realistically, when you look at Onana, you bought Onana because he plays from the back, right? Not just simply because he's a great goalkeeper. The style of play will contribute to the transfer. Like we need a player that's going to do that. Like if you look at how coaches and managers look at the whole picture, it's like the first phase of play is the goalkeeper. So I need a goalkeeper that can do the goalkeeping stuff, but also contribute to the attack.
Be a baller. Do you think it's actually spoiling the game though?
Well, I mean that's a different topic.
It's not if it's a segue.
Well, I did a couple transfers I want to just lean on before we segue.
Okay, cool.
Right. But I mean, in saying that, I think that it does impact the kind of play that you're going to get, and I think like you see it in the Euros, right? So the Euros, you looked at the Spain ballers, like they play from the back. Cucurella, right? For Chelsea, he looked decent at the end of the season. The start of the season, what the hell was he doing? But he looked decent. But when he's around other ballers and the way they played, it was just very difficult for teams to handle, like very difficult for teams to manage. And that's why you look at teams that have made certain signings and you think, okay, cool, you've made those signings specifically because of it. So as an Arsenal fan, like Eddie Nketiah, we're getting rid of him. Not because I don't think he can't score some goals, but if he isn't scoring goals, he doesn't contribute to the team. And that's
how much do you lot want for him?
What, 25 mil? Standing on business.
So is that what you're saying? Is that if no 25 mil, Eddie stays?
Listen, that's it. Do you know why? Because the thing is at the end of the day, is if we don't think the players met our valuation, then why are we selling? We don't. Can
you sell him for 25 next season though?
What's that?
But where does he go? Where does he go and succeed?
He's going on the Forest.
And succeed.
Mate, that's what he's linked with. Nottingham Forest for 25 mil.
Well, so you're telling me he plays over Chris Wood?
What's that? Oh, did you see the misses of Chris Wood last season?
But he scores.
Yeah, he
scores. Doesn't score.
And you don't think Eddie won't score? In a team like Nottingham Forest, he'll score. A team like Arsenal, he won't because it's just too much.
Well, we thought that about Callum Hudson-Odoi. He doesn't score.
Yeah, but he's Forest are dead. He's a tricky winger. He's a tricky winger. Now, the thing is,
he's very hopeful about these Arsenal things, isn't it?
Mate, I'm not hopeful.
All I've heard is so much positive from Arsenal. We're going to get rid of Eddie for 25 mil.
Listen, you need to worry about McTominay because that deal collapsed, fella. All right. So
I don't mind.
Who's McTominay?
You know what? McTominay is
you thought you
he
were standing
played.
on business and you got left in the dark. Okay. All right. So
McTominay's got his heart on his sleeve. Yeah. If he has to play, he'll play his heart out. If he goes, I'm cool with that because we're gonna get a decent P for him because he plays and he does his job.
He does his job and scores goals.
Don't get no games, bro.
Yeah, because he's not the level that you need now. He's a utility player that can do a job for you, but he's not the level you need to push on to that next level. You need a different player, a different kind
definitely.
Of player.
But at the moment, we need a squad, and while that squad's building, some players are gonna have to fill the gaps. Do you get me?
Okay, cool. So final things before we move on, right? Is who have you been linked with? All right, for all
everyone.
The teams here, who you've been linked with? Okay, Chelsea, like we know you've been linked with everyone. Anyone that Arsenal's been linked with?
João Felix.
Arsenal's looking over there. Let's go grab him. Arsenal's looking there. Let's go grab him. You know, like my days. Arsenal's got a dog. We'll get a dog.
Wait,
like, that's
hold on.
You could have Mudryk. You know, you could have Mudryk.
We're not bigging up anything that Arsenal do, by the way. Let's just leave that there.
Sure, but all right, cool. You see,
Arsenal are very good at being second.
Where was your new manager?
Arsenal are very. Hold on, what did he say? Arsenal aren't what?
Arsenal are very good at being second. Until you get over the line.
Until you get bridesmaids.
Yeah, they're bridesmaids. Make it look good.
Where was your new manager before Leicester?
I don't know.
Man City.
Why are you copying stop copying our homework, bro?
He looks like Pep Guardiola's love child.
So that's it. So who are you linked with and you're actually like excited or hopeful or interested in?
Everyone. We are linked with everyone.
What? So we're we got João. Like me personally, I love João. I think he's a good player. I think he had an unlucky time at Chelsea, but he is a difference maker. Like his debut for Chelsea the first time, he was the best player on the pitch, and then he wanted to get sent off because he has that dirty side to his game where he will 2-foot someone or put a mad slide tackle in, and it's just fair enough. But at the end of the day, he's a player that can change a game of football, and if we can get. Me personally, I just think Nicholas Jackson needs to come off the pitch. I don't know why they don't just play Nkunku up top and just go with a front four of Cole Palmer, Nkunku, João Felix, and Pedro Neto. Then we're talking.
That is dangerous.
Then we're talking.
That front four is dangerous.
But we're not going to do that because Nicholas Jackson's going to play. I don't know if we're going to get Osimhen in. Me personally, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we need too much. I think there's too much going on. I think you just have to play with Nkunku up front. I like the.
You play Nkunku or Palmer up top, and Felix can play there as well. So
João Felix and Nkunku can play false 9 if we need them to. I'd personally prefer Nkunku because he's a bit of a more cultured finisher. So if we do need someone to finish in the box, then I'd prefer that to be Nkunku.
But this young kid as well that we got, that Mark Gui,
he looks good.
Stats are unreal. For all his youth setup, his stats at Barca were ridiculous.
Yeah,
they're saying he's a man in a child's body.
Yeah, he is. So
do you keep him or loan him?
Oh, big save!
I think we keep him.
He's gonna get kept. He's gonna get kept. I think the fact that he was starting in pre-season and playing games just tells you that they rate him very highly. For example, that's a very big difference to him and David Washington, who we just signed and he hasn't played a game. Or he's
and Datro Fofana, the same.
A bunch, and Datro Fofana and all of these players. Whereas Mark Gui has come in and they're looking like they actually want to play him, looking like Maresca wants to actually use him.
Defender?
Sorry?
Huh? Are you awake?
No, I said, was Fofana that defender you lot got?
No, we got another striker. We got all the Fofanas. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
There's other ones you don't know about.
Chelsea's got like 1,000 players, bro.
They got a lot of players. They got it's like a football supermarket.
Yeah,
like
bro. When I look at you lot transfer for Alice, I was like, bro, am I reading a book?
Oh, but hold on a minute. You have spent more than us this season. Just saying.
Ooh.
Yeah, but we didn't buy 1,000 players, bro.
But you spent more than us. Just saying.
So, Man United, who have you been linked with, and who are you interested with?
We've been linked with everyone, every striker, every midfielder, every bloody defender.
But what do you need?
At the moment,
someone in that middle, definitely.
I'm not sure with Man United, man, because we've just spent stupidly over the past how many years. Like, I'm at a stage myself where I don't trust the process, but I'm watching to see what happens.
Wow.
Hey, you got silverware, man. That's more than some.
Yeah, silverware just sometimes covers the issues that are going on.
Covers the cracks.
And
I'd like to play well and win nothing.
Yeah, I heard that. I saw it last season, but
it's Ten Hag part of the crack.
Like, you know how to do this.
Couple seasons on the bounce now.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. What happened?
I'm happy to see some silverware, but personally, I'd like to see Man United kind of back to a style of play, back to actually winning some games. Like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Convincingly.
There we go, convincingly. Because right now, it's like we scrape through games. We might get the odd, even like
teams you've been doing that for 10 years, though.
To be.
Games you should win. Games you think you should win, you're not winning.
Yeah,
but you've been doing that since Ferguson.
Nah, but we've been doing better in the tougher games, the games that you'd expect us to not do so well in.
Struggle with,
we
City,
play better.
Liverpool.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. It's just a weird one with United at the moment.
Is Ten Hag the problem?
Yeah,
but I think I'm giving 10 this season to kind of make my mind up about him. I don't think I've seen enough from him in terms of the output of the team, and but I don't think he's had enough time. So I'm giving him this season.
One more season, fair. It's fair.
Well,
he won silverware.
Fair
enough. That's what he's gonna say. That's what he's gonna say.
To be fair to him as a manager, he's won something every season. So
yeah, that's good. And that's enough about Man United, aka.
Hold on. Sorry, Vapor, one more.
So,
aka Ajax. That's where I was going. Yeah, Ajax. What's with the Ajax players? He's just buying everyone that's Ajax.
Man, running out of ideas.
He's worked with these players before, and he feels like they're the guys to do the job, innit? So
sounds like
to be fair, it's the same as Moyes, bro. When Moyes was at United, he just bought Everton, bro.
Yeah, and Arteta just bought all the Man City rejects.
Do you get me?
Wait. Which was the last Man City bought?
Managers buy players that they've worked with and know.
The ones that they don't want no more.
Jesus
and Zinchenko. You'll take the rest. There'll be more.
Arsenal and City done a bit of the swap,
and they're both dead.
Because back in the day, Man City was taking Arsenal players for a minute.
Exactly. So just you
stay at their career.
City got who did they take? Nasri, Clichy.
They took Clichy. They took Torre.
They got a good relationship.
They're just returning the favor now, innit?
Exactly.
They got a good relationship.
Anyway, moving on to Liverpool.
Let me just go for it. Go on.
And we can come back to that. Liverpool.
Yeah.
Do you link with them and what's it like?
Do you know what? I haven't really, if I'm being totally honest with you, I've been a little bit down in the dumps about everything. I haven't really been on it like that because it's like, even going back from as far as last season with getting rejected. We've got rejected. We got the Lavia situation. We had the situation with Caicedo, and now we've got the situation with Zubi. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, what? And then after all of that, like, you lot aren't working hard enough because you tried to sign a Georgian keeper. You get what I'm like? Really? And then there's these speculations about Gordon. Is he? Isn't he? Can he? Because obviously we've still got we've still got Lucho. So I'm just like, whatever the weather, man. If you do, then we're the only Premiership team that has not spent any money. We haven't bought anybody. So yeah,
I think you guys need a new negotiator, bro. I don't know what.
I thought we did.
You lot look
I thought we did.
Glossy.
I thought we had the best.
You lot look so glossy in terms of like the way your team play, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And all these signings that you go for get rejected, and it's mad.
And it's
is it a bad thing considering that? Well, I think if Klopp hadn't have left us in such a good position, or left us with a good squad, I think that would have been a problem. Because if we had been left with the squad that Klopp inherited, damn. Yeah, that would have been a problem, but we don't. Like, we've had a really good preseason. We've done our thing. We've won our first game. The only thing that really concerns me regarding Liverpool is what will Klopp do when things aren't going our way. How does he manage that? How does he, what's the I need to see. That's what makes the manager. When things aren't going quite right, and he can then be able to jig stuff around and all of that. So that's the bit I'm looking at. So I don't know whether it's the end of the world going another season without additions. I don't know. I really don't.
So for me,
we're not in dire straits. A lot of teams have strengthened, and I don't know whether those teams that have strengthened will finish above us.
And I think that's a valid point you just made there. Sorry, Trim, Kerry, you're going to say something.
Go on. I'll say after.
I was gonna say, do you think you're in a better position to challenge with exactly the same team? Do you feel like they will grow closer, they will get better at what it is they're doing, or do you feel like you're stagnant or you've taken a step back? How do you feel?
I think it's difficult because Arsenal have strengthened. I think it's difficult because no matter what, City, I believe that City are going to win the league. I'm just putting it out there from now. They're just too good at it. But at the same time, I think that I don't think we can get worse. I don't think we can get worse. The players that we do have are closer to each other, and the one thing that I do love about my team is that they all seem like before, like you used to have the Sadio Mane with the Salah situation and all that. When you look at our team, we look like that, and I don't know any other team that look as united as us. You might be able to tell me, but I haven't seen it. I feel like they are definitely a strong unit.
Kerry, what you gonna say?
Trim, do you know like the whole Lavia thing? Yeah. Like, why you didn't get him? Like, I don't understand why you didn't fight for him more. Because I'm not gonna lie, what I've seen from this kid from pre-season,
bad boy.
Yes. Oh my
God. Yesterday alone. Yesterday I thought when I watched how he played yesterday, I thought to myself, nah, he's cold. But I think maybe they didn't want to get into a bidding situation. So
yeah, I get that, but he's worth it.
Because then it's the risk now. Now you've done that. What is it? Another situation, like not so much another situation, but by bidding, and obviously he is a kid. And look at what happened. As soon as he got signed, he got injured. So I think we dodged the bullet.
He was injured before he got signed, though.
Say again?
He was injured before he got signed, just saying.
Okay.
But you know,
Is
the
he
point
like following in Man U's footsteps? Finding injured players.
Great business.
I don't think that Liverpool would have been able to get Lavia unless they put in like a monstrous bid.
That's right.
And the reason being is, if you're aware, the sporting director at Chelsea used to be the sporting director at Southampton, and he brought Lavia there. So
right.
that connection was there, and he's like, yeah, go grab him. And I think he'd already latched onto him, so it would have taken like a really big bid to make that happen.
And the thing is, sorry to interject, but Liverpool also do have a very good relationship with Southampton, so the deal should have been straightforward. But like JR said, you know that there was internals. So yeah, I think they realized, you know, it's not worth it. We'll keep it moving. And to be fair, did Endo do so bad?
No, I think he did really well.
Oh, I hear that.
I thought he was great.
Yeah. He's gonna play. He didn't start the first game of the season, so it looks like Gravenberch maybe has that shirt now at the moment to start in the sixth
maybe until I'll say that word. I'll say until, because one thing that Gravenberch doesn't have is the same experience. He might do well initially, but when he might get unstuck. I think remember we played Ipswich. We played Ipswich, and it depends on what it depends on what Slot's mentality is, and maybe he decided, okay, this is a game that we could let Gravenberch do that, and then, you know, when it comes to the nitty gritty, Endo straight away. Right, he's his international. He's captain for his international team. He's still quality, man.
Yeah. So I'll kind of wrap up the Arsenal transfers. But before we do, the full-time score for Leicester Tottenham was 1-1. So once again, a very Tottenham style, bottling a lead. But I suppose then it's just, you know, as usual. So with Arsenal,
but bearing in mind though that Leicester team last year won that championship convincingly, and under that Maresca, so obviously they've been playing well. So like Tottenham is still in the transition; they don't have a clue where they're at. So I don't think that was a big.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't listen. Leicester just came from the championship. Tottenham are Angie's boys. You know, just get on with it, boys. They just get on with it, boys. Right? I'm not hearing that. They spent money. They spent 60 mil on Calvin on what's his name? Solanke. They spent that money. They spent the bread. They got the money. They bought Archie Gray, young boy. Listen. I'm not hearing that. Tottenham are experienced. They've got half of the same squad there.
Yeah, true.
A team like that has just come from the championship, right? The quality, like they should be winning. They should be like.
But are they a championship side?
No,
they're not. You're saying it like they're a championship side,
like home as well, but Leicester's a seasoned team. They know what it takes to do in the Prem. Do you get me? They're not one of these teams that haven't been here, and they only just went down the season before.
Yeah, they're not Ipswich. They're Leicester. They've won the Premier League, bro.
With those players.
Not those players, but they've won the Premier League, so they know what Premier League's like, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, with those players, there's no old.
I'm not hearing that. Like
Vardy won
These are excuses, right?
Leicester's difficult to beat at home.
Why is it they get these excuses? Tell me why.
Because it's Tottenham and they're allowed to.
Spurs, man.
Why are you making excuses for Spurs?
Spurs is Spurs.
What do you think of Tottenham?
I ain't making no excuses for no one. I'm talking the truth.
Vapor, what do you think of Tottenham?
Shit. Sorry, I wasn't meant to say that. Oh, it's just a knee jerk. Sorry.
You do.
You know what?
You do know. We do know we have a Spurs team on the network. So,
given the benefit of the doubt, right? what I'm saying is Spurs get a lot of leeway, right, to say, oh no, they're this and that. No, they need to be treated like any top 6, 8 team, because that's who they are. Like, they're trying to be that. They'll get critiqued, they'll get challenged. If you lost or drew to Ipswich, we'd have something to say. Like, it would always be the same. Like, and like, it just has to be.
Nah, it's Ipswich.
Cool, I hear that. But the thing is it's always like, who are you and who are they? Right? And if you're Tottenham and if you're challenging, you spent big money, you should be winning. That's the way it is. You should be winning. You're playing against
definitely.
So are we saying we're surprised that? Are we saying that we're surprised that Tottenham drew? No.
No. I'm saying you shouldn't be making excuses for them. I said they bottled it, cool. And I was like, yeah, but this and that. No, I'm not.
No, they did.
That.
No, you're not wrong, but I'm not surprised.
If Arsenal drew to Leicester, you never hear the end of it. You never hear the end of it.
Great day.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why
We better not go to Leicester, boy.
Hey, there's gonna be receipts.
Yeah, this is receipts indeed. Cheers.
Yeah. Start this message. But anyway, so Arsenal, we haven't been linked with loads and loads of people this summer. There's been a few people that we've been consistently linked with, and I think Arsenal are kind of playing it smart. They've got their very we've been very kind of clear about who we wanted, and we've either gone in and then not been able to get in and then come out. So we linked with Nico Williams, and then it became quite apparent that we weren't going to get him. We've been linked with Gyökeres, who I think there's still potentially a chance, but we need to sell before we buy, and I think that's a very consistent theme about Arsenal. Like, we're not just we spent a lot last season, we're not gonna do that this season.
A lot.
We can only do it if we sell. And I think like we've got a relatively settled squad. Even like things like Ramsdale, I don't think we're forcing Ramsdale out. I think we kind of still rate him, but he knows that he's not in that pecking order.
He has to have more ambition. He has to want to leave. He has to force his way out, because
I don't think he is going to do that. I don't think he is.
I think he loves being at Arsenal, but you lot are dissing him.
But I think the other problem is that realistically, he's an England second goalkeeper. We paid 30 odd million.
Only because of his domestic form.
No, but what I mean is like he plays for England or is the second goalkeeper. You paid 30 odd million for him. We're not going to let him go on a cheap, right? He was our first team, but we're not going to let him. And I think that also holds it back, because there needs to be a suitor for him, and there's not many obvious suitors for Ramsdale. Yeah. So we're not going to force him.
I'll take him. Options. I want Sanchez.
Chelsea take another goalkeeper.
Chelsea desperate. They want 8 goalkeepers.
If Ramsdale didn't play for Arsenal, if Ramsdale didn't play for Arsenal and he was second goalkeeper, they would have gone and got him already. It's only because he plays for Arsenal they didn't go and get it. They would love to go and get Ramsdale.
You got 4 goalkeepers already. Deal with those.
No, they're not playing. They're not playing, man. Obviously, the new goalkeeper, Maresca needs to sort himself out. He needs to sort himself out, because he just played a new boy in goal, man. I don't know what we're doing. This Sanchez thing. The guy was at Brighton. He was at Brighton not playing. How do you go from Brighton not playing to Chelsea Football Club starting? That is a mess.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
Potter was still at the club.
He must have been doing a madness on that bench, blood.
Oh man!
You know what? In all fairness, like, I think Sanchez was decent for Brighton. I don't see how you spend that money on the second goalkeeper. And then you play him a bit and then you don't play him. I think it's a bit of a weird move. But do you know what? We're not the people at the helm of these decisions.
No.
Personally, just wrapping up the Arsenal transfers, we're due to get Marino, who I think is a good.
Yeah, I think that might happen.
I think like some people are a bit unsettled about the fact of his age, but I think like actually his ability and what he brings, especially after winning the Euros recently, for me is interesting. and I think like I'm excited about that. What it also means is that it feels like our midfield is quite stacked, like really stacked. I don't see us selling Partey at the moment because I don't think.
Oh, hey, how good did Partey look? Sorry, I know you're saying whatever, but Saturday he looked good. Pause.
Yeah, I think he was saying I'm not trying to leave, which was interesting. I mean,
didn't get injury.
He must have left them young girls alone.
Listen, we're not going to talk about these accusations.
I can't.
And legally, I'm not going to accuse him of anything.
I can't.
Sorry, my bad.
Anything. All right. But what I would say is those kind of accusations hanging over his head don't make me want those kind of players at my club. But I do think he performed well. I think Marino, who can play as a DM as well, offers a different angle and a different thing, and it means that I think you can rotate Declan Rice in the DM and move him on or upwards or whatever, and he can rotate that, which is brilliant for me.
Yeah.
And I think if we're going to sign any other person, the only other person I think that we're linked with is Gyökeres, who actually scored a brace on the weekend, which is even more exciting. But I think we need to sell Nelson and Eddie before doing that. And if that happens, like I think that's going to be very exciting.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Quick question. Now looking back over the last season, are you happy that you bought Rice for how much was it?
100 plus 5 million add-ons.
Yeah. Was he worth 105?
I think I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Like,
that answers my question, but cool.
I don't think worth 100 mil. What I would say is I'm very happy we bought him for whatever we paid for him. I think he added something to our team that we didn't have, right? And we had legs. We had someone covering the ground. We can take more risks. We had someone who's going to strike the ball quick, like excellently. Added height. He had like there was a period of time. It was about 10 to 15 games of that season where he was the best player on the park at times, just because he kept us in it so often.
Big time.
So whether he's worth 100 mil, I don't know. But whether he was worth investing in, 100%, yes.
What is 100
as long as he's at the club, innit? As long as he's at the club.
What is 100 mil worth, though?
So again, that's always subjective, right? And I think, like, as an example, like we'll go to Enzo, right? Enzo was 100 million euros or 100 million pounds, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
100, and he looked good at Benfica, and
he hasn't at Chelsea.
No, but initially when he came, he looked decent, right? When he
first it's the players he's surrounded by. No, not really.
No,
he plays good in other teams.
But
I don't think he works.
You pay, but the thing is, right? Is as an example, like a person is only worth the price you pay if they deliver, right? So whatever you paid for Fofana, Nico Jackson, this player, that player, is irrelevant if they're shit. Oh, sorry, excuse my French again, but if they're rubbish, it doesn't matter. But when someone is scoring goals, when someone is making saves, making tackles, all these other things, it doesn't matter. Like it really don't matter. Like the thing is what's interesting is you asking me about the Rice price tag, is that start of the season, it was always a topic. But towards the end of the season, it wasn't really a topic, just because he's performing well. Like our team is performing well, he's performing well. Not to say I still believe whether he's worth 100 mil or not. But the main thing is whatever you're paid for, whatever they pay for you, you should be playing well. Like you need to perform. Whether you got it for free or whatever, you need to perform. That's why even like Chalobah, you didn't pay anything for him, but you're trying to get rid of him because he's not performing at the standard you need. And that's it.
He still
probably was. Yeah, it probably was. That's the thing. They just don't care. It's business. This is business.
I thought he was good. I never thought, not him.
They don't care. They don't care.
No,
it's what I said earlier. The policy is if you make money for us, you are gone. There's only certain players that are untouchable of that. And he is not one of them.
That Chelsea did, right, was sell too many people at one time. Like when you went through the transition and you ripped out the heart of your squad. Like whether it was your keeper went, your captain went, Havertz went, Mount went, your winger went, like Lukaku went, all these other people just went, and you were left with just basically Conor Gallagher, right? And he wasn't even the best player to leave you with. And I felt like
he worked hard though.
What I meant is that you need to, for me personally, you need to have a blueprint, and then you get rid of that bit by bit, right? You have like a structure, and you have the people that know Chelsea, the people that will die for Chelsea because they're Chelsea through and through. I think you should have given at least one more season, personally, and then
should have kept Thiago. That's what we should have done.
Well,
wow.
Either way, you need to keep that route, and then you kind of build around it. But when you're starting again, there's all these players that are like not too sure. They're trying to prove themselves, but they're not gelling as a team. Whereas someone that's already as a team, that knows it, that's seen it through, I think that would have made a difference. I think you would have finished a lot higher if you'd have done that.
Cool.
But when we're talking about that, we'll kind of segue into the next part of the show, which is about the magic, right? Has football magic gone? And
absolutely.
I think
absolutely
that's been a topic. I think.
Why, guys? Sorry. We've got to start with whoever said absolutely.
So we'll let you talk in a second. But I think
Go to the left.
You sent me something where we were talking about the magic, right? About the magic. The irony, though, is who was talking about it, and talking about tiki taka, and talking about these things, and too much distance. And I'm like, you're just mad that you're not doing Route 1 football, right? And that was Sam Allardyce, right? But what would be interesting is to hear your lot's opinion on that. And as a coach, I love to hear opinions and thought processes on that. So, Cairo, was it you that said absolutely?
Yeah,
and me.
Yeah, cool. We'll let you run with that.
We can kind of be brief though. Time is short.
But yeah, I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot that goes into it, right? And it's all about success. And when people started to see that the Spanish team and Pep Guardiola, that was the start of it. They started to play the tiki-taka style and all the variations of it that have come. Now you have not even maybe a generation or two of young players and a whole system of football which is set up to only pass the ball. Like, in my younger years, so if I'm born in 2000, showing my age, in my younger years of football, you had players like Paul Scholes, you had players like Gerrard, you had players like Lampard, you had players that were ready to strike the ball from outside the box. Now, as a coach, some of the ball striking technique that I see from young children is really bad, and the reason why it's really bad is because they don't see it. They have no role models that go and strike the ball very well from outside the box. And what I see all the time is children try to play, almost walk the ball into the goal. Overplay all the time because that's what they watch on TV. And if you see that enough times, that's what you're gonna. When I used to watch Eden Hazard, I used to want to go out and do what Eden Hazard done, start dribbling and doing all of this. When I see Lampard score from 30 yards, I used to want to have to. Now the kids, they don't see that very often. They see players just play that they forget to shoot, and it happens all the time. So the art of striking the ball is going out of football massively.
Okay.
And playing long. So Sam Allardyce saying that about the Route 1 football thing, it's going to be tough, but the only way that that's ever going to come back in style is if there's a team that has massive success from it. So, for example, if Real Madrid just went tomorrow and just went, all right, cool, we're going to start lumping it long over the top, and they won everything, everyone would be like, okay, yeah, we're going to try.
Yeah, that's the style now.
Yeah.
But that style was more successful for the smaller teams in terms of they didn't have the players with as much ability. So their way of combating the teams that could actually play football, they're gonna obviously push a lot of players forward. As soon as they get out, it's gonna be that one long ball, and you get me. So it was the combat that kind of
Yeah, see, but that's the funny thing. It's funny you say that, right? So the last 2 seasons, the teams that have won the championship, Burnley under Vincent Company, absolutely walked the league. What style of football were they playing? Tick attacker. I'm taking players off the pitch like we're just gonna bop it round you and beat you 3-0. And then now you have Leicester have done that same thing, and that's in the championship. So these lesser teams that we're talking about that are coming up to the level are coming up to the level. I'm still playing ticket. There's no blueprint of playing that style of football anywhere.
But
I think the magic has gone also. Sorry, Vapor. The fact that we cannot celebrate, the fact that
No,
you're
we can't.
scoring,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you can't celebrate. So you score a banger, and you've got to wait 5 minutes for it to even be checked. And then when it does get checked, you get taken off. So it's disheartening.
To be
So I think the magic is gone massively in that sense as well.
To be fair, sorry to interject, but the actual turnovers, when I was watching the Liverpool game for decisions and stuff like that, even though there weren't that many, the turnovers of decisions and stuff were pretty swift. And the game was only 96 minutes, thank God. So, which was deemed as normal, or not 110 minutes and all of that stuff, which was preposterous. So I'm hoping that that turnover is something that they're moving towards.
But that is true. But the magic of like seeing a player like Neymar, Ronaldinho, these players that are just gonna get on the ball and just do whatever it is they want in instinctive stuff, that doesn't happen anymore because everyone's style is we get it, we move it, we get it, we move it, we get it, we move it. And in all the way down to even grassroots level, it's we're going to play like this. We have to try to play in 2 touch. We have to try and play to 3 touch. So when there's players that want to, when there's players that want to express, there's players that want to express themselves, and they feel like they can't because then they'll get moaned at. So they don't feel like they can shoot from outside the box because then someone will tell them there was a better option. They don't feel like they can just do a rainbow flick in the game because everyone will say, "Oh, why did you do that?"
But
so the culture has changed.
Do you know what the thing is to your point? So to some point I agree, and some point I disagree. Right? To some point I agree that, you know what, that teams have become somewhat robotic. They've been they focus on systems. All right, and there's reasons behind it, which makes sense. Is if we're producing less special players, right? Less Ronaldinho's, less R9s, and all these people. All right. What we need is a way of replicating success without needing those special players. And that's where a system will allow you to do that. So if I've got a system which is positional rotation, so that means if the right wing goes inside and the center mid goes outside, then that means you don't need to be, world class to do it, right? You just need to know the system and play to the system. I think the other reason why the magic is kind of gone is because actually the difference between players and ability has shrunk. I actually think like a defender, 20 years ago was just a great defender, not a great overall player, but a great defender. And I think the defenders are becoming better players. They're athletes. Like there aren't players that you look at and think, nah, he's definitely really slow. There are a couple that you might say that, but generally they're all of a decent pace. So what it means is you can't just beat someone because you're quick, right? You actually have to play a certain way and have a pattern of play to get around this player. I think the other thing is just as a whole, due to better coaching, better fitness, better nutrition, all these other things, teams are harder to beat. So you need to have a plan which people can stick to and go through. Now, also with the point with like the magic is if you don't have players that are going to do rainbow flicks or shoot from the outside of the box, or have the ability to do so because they lack the ball striking technique for whatever reason, percentages wise means that actually what's the point? What is the point of taking 10 shots from outside of the box knowing that only one's going to go in, whereas actually if you can take some shots in the box and 4 of them are going to go in. And that's why like you've got players that can do it, like a De Bruyne can shoot from outside of the box. You know he can do that. And do it. But then you see other players that just don't do it because there's no point. Like they just ain't got it in the locker. So I think more and more teams are going to be like, okay, cool. If we ain't got a player that can shoot from far, what's the point of just attempting to shoot? Like, what is the point?
Yeah. But that's what brings me back to my last point about, because like it's a generational thing. So the reason why you don't get the players that can strike the ball or shoot from outside the box is because they don't see it. They don't even see that as an option in their head. Like there's been numerous times where when I'm coaching, I say to them, "Why didn't you shoot?" And they're like, "Huh?" They're confused, as if why would I ever shoot? It's like, what you like? We want to score. Do you know what I mean? There's lots of times, and the amount of times that I reinforce that to my players just because of how I want them to play is hilarious. But it's almost as if,
as a coach,
guys, I think we're gonna have to try and wrap it up though.
So as a coach, yeah, you've got a player. He's on the halfway line. He shoots, and there's better options. What do you say?
it's difficult. It is difficult, but I'd rather have a player that has that, who wants to try something. Like I might say, okay, there's a better option. I probably will. I'm not going to lie and say that. I'm not going to say that. But I like the intent of them actually knowing, okay, I'm going to try something here.
Mm.
Do you get what I'm saying? Say as an example, we talk about Magic, right? Now, I don't know Neymar and Ronaldinho personally, but if I don't think they ever would have turned around and gone to their coach, can I do a rainbow flip? Right? Now, that has happened to me last season. One of my players turned around to me. We was up quite big in the game. He was doing well. He turned to me and he said, "Can I do a rainbow flick?" I said, "If you have the right time and you have the right space, you can do it." The kid done a rainbow flick in the game and hit it on the half volley to the top corner. So it's the confidence of knowing that you can pull that off and then doing it, and then having the confidence from a coach that's saying, "Look, yeah, do that, but do it in the right area. Don't do it in our box. But if you're in the right time, in the right place, and you feel like you can do that, then do it. And if you make a mistake, that's okay too."
Yeah, I understand that. I definitely understand that. Me personally, as a coach, I would definitely encourage expressing yourself in the final third, right? That is a brilliant place to do it. Pep famously said, like, it's my job to get them to the final third, and then it's their job to do whatever, to show their brilliance. So I agree to that extent. I think, we need to bring that back, and it will help with fans, etc., etc. But again, there's a lot on the line. So if you've got a system that's going to work, you're going to do the system. But I suppose
100%.
that kind of, would you say?
100% agree.
Yeah. If you've got a system that works, you can use the system. That's the same with Sam Allardyce. Like, it worked for him, so he did it. So I suppose that goes on to the next point and the final point, kind of wrapping up the predictions, the end of season predictions as we end the show. Who do you think the top 6 will be? And I'm going to write it down. And who do you think the bottom 3 will be after the first weekend of action? Okay, so we're going to start at Cairo.
I'm going to go with Chelsea to win the league. No, I think.
All right, let's start that again. All right. So...
No, I think in no particular order, the teams that I do think will be up in and around Arsenal, City, Liverpool will definitely be there about.
It gets techie after that.
I think because a lot of people think I'm gonna go with. I think Newcastle and Villa.
Okay.
And I think one more. Who do I think will nick it?
Cool.
I'm gonna say Chelsea, of course.
Fair enough.
We get it.
Okay,
I think we match it.
All right, Trimzini.
I think.
Oh, wait. You didn't give your bottom 3.
Oh, my bottom three: Southampton, Nottingham Forest, and what other promotions come up? I don't think the level's there. I'm gonna go with Everton.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, Trimzini.
Yeah, I think Man City. I think. Oh, this one's difficult. It's a mix-up between Liverpool and Arsenal. Then Villa. Then I might not be favoured for this, but I think that Manchester United, Chelsea.
Okay, cool. Bottom three.
Bottom three, I think Southampton, Everton, and Forest.
Okay. All right. Cool. Tiny.
I don't even want to say City, but I think they're gonna win the league.
It's too late. It's too late.
It's annoying. Arsenal, treated that second.
By the way, mine was in no particular order.
Now I know I said Arsenal first. Put an order out. Yeah, I'm trying.
Arsenal going.
This is where it gets a bit tricky, but I think Liverpool. Then I think Aston Villa. I'm gonna say that fourth spot.
Okay.
Fifth and sixth. I think that's Newcastle, then Man U.
Okay. That's fair.
Cool. All right.
And my relegation guys are Southampton, Ipswich, and
I forgot about Ipswich.
I think Everton's gonna be around that bracket this season because they've been
time to go.
They've been on the edge of it for a few seasons now.
Okay. Cool. All right, Kerry.
So, as much as I hate to say it and we'll never hear the end of it, but I actually think you Arsenal boys are going to win the league this year. Just saying.
Oh, man.
Appreciate it.
I know we will never hear the end of it.
Look, why you made him blush?
I'm definitely blushing. Yeah, continue.
And then I think Liverpool second.
Okay.
Ooh.
I don't want to blush.
I think City are going to have a bit of a ropey season with the charges around them and stuff like that. So I'm going City third. I'm going United fourth.
Nice.
I'm going to go Newcastle fifth, and then I'm going to go Chelsea sixth.
Oh, accountability.
No Villa. No Villa.
Okay.
No Villa. I think they'll die off.
Nice. So
because they got Champions League and stuff. I don't think they'll be involved.
Yeah, good shot.
New format.
My bottom three is going to be Forest. Everton are going to go bottom.
They are.
Forest and Ipswich.
Ipswich. Southampton stay up.
Southampton to stay up.
Cool.
All right. Cool.
I respect it. Vapor. Sorry.
My predictions. I'm going with Arsenal first.
Oh.
I'm going with what? Why are you not like
Arsenal?
I'm going. I think City second. I think Liverpool will be third. I think they'll win a trophy though. I think they might win like a Carabao Cup or something like that.
Yeah.
Fourth, I think will be Man U.
Yeah.
Fifth, I think will be I think Chelsea.
Cool.
And sixth, I think will be Villa. Cool. Bottom three, I think will be Southampton, Ipswich, and Everton.
Cool.
Cool. So I wrote that down. We're going to put it in the group as well. So we got that predictions.
I want to change Ipswich into my bottom three.
No change it.
No, can't do it. What I wanted to do as well, lads, very quickly, was I just wanted to shout out full-time sports network. Shouts out to, because we did have some entries on the YouTube as well. So shouts out to Yaba Fords as well, very good friend of mine. Thanks to everybody that viewed as well. So yeah, sorry, back to you, Vapor.
Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah. Like, share, and subscribe. But yeah, sorry, back to you, Vapor.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you for the time. It was you spent a couple hours with us, and we appreciate the discussion and the listeners. But I really enjoyed it. I think there's so much to be discussed. There was loads of other topics we could have touched upon, but I think they're important to have. And I just want to say, don't trip on your way out. Thank you for coming. And peace out, A-Town down.
Peace.
Take care.
Peace.
Take care.
All the best.
Blessings.
Thank you.